Hi and welcome to the day 3 of our interactive guide on publishing your own first video in 3 days. Yeah, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this type of the screenshot. So let's dive right in. And we're going to be using Canva. So this is the one that has been an outlier, which we have analyzed, and this is the video that we already have prepared. So now I'm making a blank screen in Canva. My tip is use the 1920 by 1080 resolution. And here we have a video thumbnail outlines that we have prepared in Notion. By the way, template for this is available in the description of this video. And if you have already not done so, then shame on you, because if you have recorded the video and if you have done everything, you needed this to create this kind of the screenshot. So that's really important. Now, video thumbnail outlines is actually, we've done it during the ideation phase when we were doing the research and we were preparing everything for recording. Why that was important? Just let me recap quickly. It was important because while we were recording, it was important that we actually grab this screenshot somewhere, something like it. And now we're gonna be designing that. So hopefully you have captured a screenshot, so let's go upload it. So in the Canva, you go upload files, and then you go where your screens folder is. Mine, since I'm using Steam to grab all the screenshot, theme is down there, and you are gonna see Screens Steam. And there you go, there is the screenshot that I'm talking about. So once we have uploaded, you will see that it's gonna be uploaded right now to Canva. Then we're gonna be just dragging and dropping it to our canvas. Now, my canvas is 4K resolution, but I recommend, if you're using, especially if you're using free Canva, use presentation 1920 by 1080, because then you don't need to use the premium features that are the paid tier. So here, once you have copied it, you go edit and auto adjust. It's gonna be automatically adjusting the color grading. Now, I personally prefer to boost up the shadows a little bit because they're a little bit of a dark on the quad. If you look at it, it's a little bit too pitch black. Then I do like to increase my also saturation to 15 and sharpness to 11. This is gonna make a visual pop. It's gonna make the picture look very crispy. So then you want to be dragging these angles until you get a very nice positioning. Let us just drag it onto our canvas, and then let's just see, where are we going to position this, rule of thirds. Are we going to have it smack middle, or we're going to have it left or right? That remains to be seen. I have never decided. I always decide based on the screenshot and the angle that I have taken. Okay, to me, this looks decent enough. Now, what we want to do, sometimes I try to download the logo for the game. So that's, we type in Occupy Mars, the game logo, and I go with PNG with the transparent background. I'm gonna show you why. So for example, this one on the Steam Grid DB is actually pretty decent. So we're gonna be downloading that one, and then we're gonna be just saving the image as, and we store it in the relevant folder. Now, I've already downloaded it, so I'm gonna be uploading now the logo. And I need to find the Occupy Mars one. Yeah, I'm running 4 channels, so yeah, logos are all over the place. I'm a really messy person. There we go. So Occupy Mars is being uploaded, and then we just drag and drop it, and you can see it doesn't visually pop out. It blends in the background with the background, and this is where we actually need to do a little bit of the black magic. So what we're gonna be doing, I right click on it, and then I'm gonna go clicking the edit above, and there under the Magic Studio, under the FX effects, you have the shadows, the football. If you notice it just down, I'm gonna be clicking that one, yes, see? And then you want to be clicking the drop shadow. So once you drop the shadow, then it gives you this nice soft blurry one. However, I like to take it a little notch above. I like to remove the blur amount. I like it to be very crispy, and I like it to be very intense. So now it's just processing the blurriness. So I'm gonna put the Occupy Mars, the game. We can actually decrease it a little bit. I like to put it in the negative space, which is the reason why I'm always recording my screenshot to be in the middle. It's always easier to enlarge, the center image, retaining the quality. And you can see when I put drop shadow, reduce the blur amount, and jacked up the color intensity, this actually made this image super pop up. and then distance you can tweak so that that was going to regulate this distance, and look, it looks pretty nice. Alright, so that's done. Let's put in the title. So I'm gonna just drag the title from the left hand side over to the main one, and we're gonna be calling the 1.0 because this was the release of Occupy Mars, so that's like a big thing you don't want to miss out. So I'm gonna change the font to Bebasnoje because it's like a big chunky font and it looks good on mobiles. So that's one of the reasons. You can use Montserrat or you can use Bebasnoje. I prefer Bebasnoje because it's really tight. Then we do the same thing. I actually put the white color and I put in the drop shadow under the effects. You can see it here above. I click it, then there's the shadow. I like to kill the transparency completely outright. No transparency and no blur. This actually gives this the black backdrop, which makes it pop out of the image. That's, guys, something it took me a while to learn how to do it, but I think it's really awesome tip. Okay, Occupy Mars 1.0. Then I right-click, duplicate it, and then I'm gonna just write out now because this was the release of Occupy Mars, so I'm now just trying to put it. You don't want to be putting it like, for example, over this guy. I'm not meaning me, but I mean this guy above me. So you always want to put it somewhere in the negative space, but now it's a little bit biased. As you can see, everything is towards that side. And I do like my visual, my visuals to be a little bit more, how the Swedish would say, jämnt, which means like distributed, harmonized. However, we can always go download. Now, this is the thing. See, I now have to resize because I have put too high of a resolution for the images. If you have selected 1920 by 1080, you don't need to do that. And then I limit the file size because usually file sizes for 4K go above 2.5 megs or 2 megs, which is the bottom limit for the YouTube thumbnail to accept it. So, this is how it looks. This is decent enough. However, let me just create another variant, which I would actually prefer to have it a bit more. That's how you do a thumbnail. Now we double click the image and I can just drag to reposition it. Just look how simple it is. And then I just click on the other side. Cool. Now let's just drag, oops, not that one. Let's click on the font and just drag the font right here in front of my face. Let me just remove myself and there we go. There's another screenshot right there. And I think this one actually looks much better. Positioning wise, it has negative space and, composition just works out better. So, from that perspective, let's go and download this one. You want to have like multiple variants when you are doing A/B testing, and I'm gonna be showing you in the upload section when we're gonna be uploading this bad boy. So that's gonna just come in a minute or two further down in this video. That pretty much wraps up the screenshot part or the thumbnail part. So now it's time to upload this bad boy. You go into your YouTube studio and then I want you to be pressing this button above. However, you're going to be using the template that you wrote yet again. See how useful it is? Trust me, that actually speeds up the process significantly. And just right here, there's a button for uploading videos. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So let me just remove my face and my ego from this, and then I'm gonna be looking for the file that we have recorded. Now I'm gonna upload a different file, but you get the idea. It's not a rocket science, despite me trying to make it so. Alright, now that's starting to upload, and this is the reason why this Day 1 ideation worksheet was so important, so you now, when you're uploading, you're not guessing, you already did the work. You can see video title proposals. I'm gonna be selecting Madman Start Guide. After some research, that one proved out to be the best title. Then I just copy paste it here, and don't mind the green dots. I'm using also vidIQ and TubeBuddy, but I'm using the free plugins. By the way, if you'll be interested to download those, I will gonna be posting the links to those in my YouTube Operator Academy. So now we are gonna be just getting the screenshot that we had. There's the one that we did. We're gonna be uploading it, and that's how you do it if you want a single screenshot. Now remember, you also need to populate the description, but if you want to go to A/B testing, you have the capability to do that here. What we're gonna do, we're gonna be clicking the A/B testing, because if you have multiple thumbnails, that's a good idea so that you can actually run the test and see which one works. And then it's your task to figure out why. Now I have produced 3 different types of screenshots. So for the episode 1, I'm just trying to find it in the forest of my files. So there's one, Mars Survival, and then there's one, Max Difficulty. So those are all visualizations of the, as you can tell there, of my thumbnail outlines. What you want to be doing, you want to be doing either only title A/B test or thumbnail A/B test, but you don't want to have doing the both, because if then it succeed, you don't know what succeeded. So you want to be testing them in isolation. Then if you are planning to doing episodic content, which this definitely is, it's going to be a let's play series of multiple episodes, then you either add it to the playlist or you create a new playlist as outlined in this section. So what you need to be filling is the rest of the forms. Really important, make sure it's no, not made for the kids unless it's nursery rhymes content. I tend to put altered content no, because I record my stuff, but if you're doing AI you might want to do that. Then you allow automatic chapters and key moments. This is kind of good because Google indexes sometimes multiple chapters. And here we come to the tags. Now here, guys, I have an extra tool which is phenomenal, but first I'm going to show you how to do this manually. So manually you're just typing in the values and you're separating them by comma. This is a little bit tedious process that you have to do every single time you're uploading a video. However, I have the tool which actually can greatly facilitate with that. That tool is called YouTube Tag Manager, and it's also a part of my YouTube operator, which is like my big YouTube full-on processing dashboard, which of course you can also get and download. I'm going to be putting the links to in the comments below. It is a paid Notion template, but I'm been using it every day, and that's the only way how I can manage completely 4 separate video channels and publishing on them without getting overwhelmed, because it's just nuts. Okay, now I've typed all of those manually. So now let me just show you how this can be done in a better way. We're going to be going to my YouTube operator template just to show you a little bit how it looks like. This part is optional. This you don't need to have to do when you're just starting out. So this is where I track all of my videos. Yeah, I know it looks huge, it looks overwhelming, but this is my video series. You can see here I'm even putting the content that I'm pushing for this channel, I'm also putting it right there. So now let me just say, okay, we're gonna be selecting the game. We're not gonna be YouTube Operator Academy, but we're gonna be doing Occupy Mars, the game. And there I have already analyzed this episode, which should be, there we go, that one. So once you click it, there you have all the details. There's the video title, there's the description that I already prepared, I ideated, and I even asked AI, I have built into my template AI evaluation of your title and thumbnail ideas. So it goes through step by step and checks out how could you improve it. You write your 3 title ideas and then it just criticizes them and tries to evaluate what would be, and gives you the suggestion what is the best solution and why. So you say you can do the same for your thumbnails, and then you have the description. So for example here I didn't write anything, but I clicked generate and it gave me a pretty decent recommended description and explained why it works. So it also explains how it's thinking. Like I said, totally optional on your part, and now we're gonna be going and showing you how do you do that also for tags. By the way, YouTube Operator and Tag Manager, both templates are available on my Gumroad store. You can get it on alanoceangumroad.com, link will be provided in the description below. Now let's go and just, here in the description I have some parts which are always being added. That's in the YouTube channel About section, but now I pasted this one. And let me show you how we do tags. So I'm gonna have to go back to the video card for the Mars Survival Guide, this guy. And if I go and check in the details, now since my game is defined as Occupy Mars the game, it already has YouTube tags defined for it, a lot of them. So rather than me writing out and typing every single time, there's a more elegant solution. I just copy paste the entire tag list, and then I just add 2-3 things that are really specific for this video alone. Then we're gonna be going down into the gaming category. You want to select gaming, and you want to be selecting the game title as it appears on Steam. Now this game is a little bit specific, I don't know, normally it has Occupy Mars the game, but now it says Occupy Mars Colony Builder. Now let me walk you through other checks. Now, if you don't have the monetization, you're not gonna have the capability of turning ads on or off. If you have, then you select it, and then you have to go for do this filter. This is only if you have monetization on, so you have to make sure that you check none of the above, assuming that you have been playing nice, and then submit. And then you go to the video elements. You can actually add cards or end screens. Now, I don't do that because I'm recording in 21:9, so it's a different format which actually doesn't allow me. Now, here's the important part: save or publish. My recommendation, leave everything at unlisted. You could go public and publish, but as you can see, we're still checking your video to make sure that it doesn't have visibility monetization restrictions. Wait for the checks to finish. So what I do, I press unlisted and I go press save. Then I wait a couple of hours until YouTube just realizes this, everything, uploads it, and then processes and lifts it up to 4K. And right now it's unlisted. It can still be visible to only the people that have the link. So it's sort of published. It's not published to everybody. So YouTube is not pushing it. Now, it is lying there under your content tab, which is visible here. So if you want to be editing it now, let's say it's waiting, you have waited like 2-3 hours, and then you go and open it up in the edit. Now here it says ads pending because it's still processing for my ads, but once you're done, you go visibility, and you can either go public and save, or you go to scheduling. Now this is a power trick, guys. I always schedule my videos for afternoons 6:30 because that's when I know most of you guys who are watching the content are online, and that's why I want to be doing that. And then you press publish and then you press save. So now your video says the visibility scheduled, meaning it's gonna get published at this date and time. So hopefully this is actually, now you've seen how everything is done, and congratulations on publishing your first video. So, you know, I'm proud of you guys. Give yourself a big shout out. And of course, if you want to check out the YouTube operator, it contains like a lot of useful features: content calendar, Kanban board, ideation list, recently worked on, and much, much more. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna be seeing you in my next video.